Okay, so here is something that's really kind of annoying and disturbing: energy dominance financing, which is something they're proposing, amending an Energy Policy Act of 2005. But of course, a lot of this bill that I was reading on congress.gov has a lot of gobbledygook in it, like this. It's telling you how they want to amend the current act. And it says in subsection A in paragraph 1, striking or at the end. In paragraph 2, striking avoid and all that follows. So basically they're telling you these edits, taking out words like or avoid, but they don't give you the substance of what these changes mean. You would have to then go back to section 1706 of the Energy Policy Act of 2005 and find these sections they're amending to understand what are they taking out, what do they mean. And I don't have the time, I haven't done that. But what follows this energy dominance financing, which I'm sure is not something that's good, I hope somebody will go in and look at it, is a whole collection of recisions relating to the environment and public works. So I'll just read them because I think they say basically all you need to know. So I've labeled these pages energy 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 so you can keep track of when I'm turning the page. Rescission of funding for clean heavy-duty vehicles. Again, the rescission means taking the money away. Repeal of greenhouse gas reduction fund. Rescission of funding for diesel emissions reductions. Rescission of funding to address air pollution. Rescission of funding to address air pollution at schools. Rescission of funding for the low emissions electricity program. Rescission of funding for section 2110 of the Clean Air Act. I should probably go look up what that section says. Rescission of funding for implementation of the American Innovation and Manufacturing Act. Rescission of funding for enforcement of technology and public information. Rescission of funding for greenhouse gas corporate reporting. Rescission of funding for environmental product declaration assistance. Rescission of funding for methane emissions and waste reduction incentive programs for petroleum and natural gas systems. Rescission of funding for greenhouse gas air pollution plans and implementation grants. Rescission of funding for Environmental Protection Agency efficient, accurate, and timely reviews. Rescission of funding for low embodied carbon labeling for construction materials. These are no-brainers, people. Rescission of funding for environmental and climate justice block grants. Rescission of funding for environmental and climate data collection. Rescission of neighborhood access and equity grant program. Rescission of funding for federal building assistance. And rescission of funding for low carbon materials for federal buildings. So any one of these should light your hair on fire and make you call your congressperson and say, hey, why are we taking this money away from this program? But can we just tell the Republicans that this is something we do not want? Please.